It is 20 after 12 Central African time, and we're coming to you live from Johannesburg in South Africa. Our four members of the Basotho Covenant Movement, I beg your pardon, in Lesotho were shocked to see their faces posted all over social media for crimes that they claim they were not aware of. It comes as the leader of the movement awaits his bail application to be heard. Many believe that Dr. Ts'epo Lipholo's arrest is related to his recent appeal to the United Nations regarding Lesotho's long-standing territorial grievances. And to elaborate further on this, we are joined on the line by Advocate Borenahabokhethe Botlebosele Sekonyela, who is heading up the team overseeing the case. Advocate Sekonyela, I hope I did not butcher your name. Thank you for joining us on Africa Update.
Well, the name is long, so but well done.
Oh, thank you for that. Now, Advocate, going back to Dr. Lipholo's submitted an appeal to the United Nations, directly to the UN. Tell us about this appeal and why the United Nations.
Yes, I think that's really the core. You see, this is a long struggle for Basutu from the 60s. Basutu have been claiming that South Africa has conquered their land. And it has been a trump card for most of the political parties in the country, the BCP. Now, the land that has been claimed is 240,000 square kilometers, as opposed to the 30,000 square kilometers that constitutes the present Lesotho. So, when the BCM, Basotho Covenant Movement, under the leadership of Dr. Lipholo, entered Parliament, the 11th Parliament, the Constitution, Section 1 of the Constitution, provides that the country, the Parliament, shall declare some of the boundaries that actually constitute the country. So he made a motion in terms of parliamentary privileges for the reclaiming of the land, that the Parliament should actually declare the boundaries of this 240,000 square kilometers, which is actually the outstanding land. But the motion was rejected. When the motion was rejected, it was then he had no other way, because government of Lesotho specifically distanced itself from the claiming of the land. The allegation was that we don't want to claim our land because we are going to be, South Africa is going to be hostile to us. Now, guess what? Majority of people are for the claiming of the land. And secondly, the kind of treatment that South Africa is giving Basotho in that country is amazingly appalling. They are imprisoned, they are tortured, they are called illegal immigrants in their own land. So it was amazing how the Lesotho government could say that they have good relations with South Africa. Anyway, that was the reason why he had to go back to the people and the Basotho in South Africa, inside South Africa and outside South Africa, gave him the mandate that he must go to the UN. The other thing which was surprising was that when the government of Lesotho said that the Lesotho government, South African government, was going to be hostile to them, it is also in the light of the fact that, contrary to the fact that the claiming restitution of land is a legal path in South Africa under the Restitution of Land Rights Act of 1994. Many of the tribes and the peoples in South Africa have actually been restored the land that has been taken by colonialism. So that is the real basis of why he had to go and enforce the petitions that were sitting in the United Nations for 62 years, from the 1962 1963, and nobody could petition, the enforcement of those petitions. But he had the status to go in.
Now, Advocate Sekonyela, just touch on the areas or the land that is being claimed within South Africa's borders. What makes up that land?
It is principally the whole of the Free State, parts of Mpumalanga, parts of KZN, parts of Eastern Cape. And this is a reality because, as you recognize, I'm a descendant of the great King Sekonyela or the great Queen Mantatisi, who was a king there. And some of the burial sites of some of those people who are living in Lesotho, they are in South Africa in Ficksburg. The grave of my great-grandfather Sekonyela is in Eastern Cape. Just to mention, the veracity and the legality of this. And actually, as a matter of fact, we started this as Batlokwa. We started filing our claims with South African Land Restitution Committee or Land Claims Committee in 1998. Our claims are still pending in those courts. So it's not an issue that is in dispute. The territorial boundaries that are due to Basotho land is not even in dispute. Just that the provinces have cut the way they have cut.
Yeah. Now,
that is the
Dr. Lipholo has been accused of running from the law previously. And when we look at that, he's still awaiting a decision by the High Court regarding his bail application. When do you expect this to be happening? And do you think that he will be given bail? We're just going back to historically, the fact that he has been accused of running from the law.
Our expectation is that he will be given bail, because when the assessment of bail is made, in the first place, you look at the seriousness of the charges. Now, when you assess the seriousness of the charges, you have to go into the details, the reasonable explanation that is given. One of those charges is sedition charges. We have challenged that. We said sedition is where you try to divert the following of the government, the ruling government, to follow you, and say our position is that as the sedition charges do not stand against a political leader and opposition leader in parliament, because by virtue of being opposition leader, you are expected to have your cabinet, your shadow cabinet, because you are going to be government. So your opposition in terms of democratic principles of this Westminster model is that you have to be able to actually have put a constitutional question that sedition charges do not stand.
Yeah.
Secondly, the treason charges. The treason charges actually are also unsustainable, because he is charged for seeking to the land that is in South Africa. Now, it bogs one's mind as to what kind of treason, if he is seeking land that is in South Africa, what business would he have to overthrow the Lesotho government?
Now,
so
Advocate, because of time, Advocate Sekonyela, because of time, I have to just touch on this very quickly. The four gentlemen who were shocked to find themselves on social media, as being wanted for treason. Can you tell us more about them very briefly, and what is happening now with regards to their issue?
Additional treason charges. But our expectations as legal representatives was that they were going to be served with summons, because you can't just appear because a charge has been read that you are part of the list of people that have to be charged. So instead of going to the social media, we expected that the police would actually come to their houses, which is known. Even in the charge, it says they under a certain chief. And serve them with the charges, or otherwise cause us, or ask us to cause them to appear before the court to be able to stand trial. This is why we said, we feel that it was just a political stand to some of these people who are pastors have huge congregation as if they are common and dangerous criminals. And
Well,
that we thought that it is unfair. That is why we spoke.
all right, Advocate Sekonyela, we are going to have to leave it there for today. Thank you for joining us on Africa Update. That was Advocate Borenahabokhethe Botlebosele Sekonyela joining us on the line. It is 12:30 Central African Time, and our news headlines up next with Onele Nzinzi.